Yeah, yes. Thank you so much, the organizers. And there seems to be some lag, but I hope your those who are present in person at the college are able to sort of hear me. Um, First of all, I must thank Shri Suhas Naik Satam, who had been so persuasive and so kept on telling me that I honestly missed this opportunity to travel all the way to this Parshuram College of Engineering at Velneshwar, and I will not sort of shy away from taking the next opportunity when I can personally come and visit there. So, sir, I'm not sure. On the online, I see there are 13 participants who have logged in, but in presence, how many people are there? I think it's unfortunately not able to see because the camera is only sort of showing me. But what I was told by Mr. Nayak that there would be young faculty and students who would be attending this seminar. So for the organizers, if there was one possibility to project on the audience once only, I would appreciate. In the meantime, can I share my screen now? Can I start sharing the screen? Right. Yes, sir. Hello, sir. Yeah, sharing rights have been given to you. Okay. So, however, I am not able to share. I have pressed those three dots and entire screen. I should do window, right? I think I should do window and share it.
Hello.
Or it, yeah, I'm not able to share. That share is not enabled.
Entire Windows sir share kara.
Entire screen. Can I do entire screen? Yeah. Now I think I seem to be sort of able to share my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
No, no.
Hello, sir. Can you see my slides?
No.
Hello?
No, 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 sir.
No?
No, sir. Currently, we are unable
Because I did share, we need permission to share your screen. That's what it is saying. So, can somebody enable sharing the screen?
check. आपलं sharing आहे.
Is it coming or not yet?
सर एक काम करता येईल का सर त्यांचे हे करता येईल का ईमेल करता येईल का हॅलो
Yeah, but I have some videos. So PowerPoint is okay. I can just talk from here, but I had some videos, interesting videos. So whereby I wanted to show the students and your faculty to sort of, see these case studies in the form of videos. I wish I could do a dry run yesterday or something. Can we just try once again, the organizers?
डिवाइस सेटिंग मध्ये
इकडे पीपीटी घेतली तर इथून करता येईल आपल्याला पीपीटी इकडे आली तर करता येईल व्हिडिओ
शेअर आहे ते आपलं आहे. एक मिनिट. इन्क्लूड कॉम्प्युटर साऊंड, प्रेझेंटर मोड, हा स्टँड आउट, कंटेंट ओनली, साइड बाय साइड, रिपोर्ट आउट होईल तर प्रॉब्लेम. मायक्रोसॉफ्ट व्हाईट बोर्ड, कंटेंट फ्रॉम कॅमेरा, पॉवर पॉईंट लाईव्ह, एकदा सर लाईव्ह याचं सेटिंग काल्पनिक सेटिंग होती ना आपली आहे, आपण केले होते. मला वाटतं त्यांना एकदा सांगा, एकदा पुन्हा एकदा प्रयत्न करायला आता.
Actually, na, sir, I am. It is not offering me either entire screen or window. It is not allowing me to share. It is just saying cancel. So if you want, I'll cancel once and then now again I will try and share. Let me try. No, the share option is not getting emboldened.
सर मग एकदा लॉग आउट करून लॉग इन करूया आपण पुन्हा एकदा टेक्निकली.
Maybe request you to please once log out and then log in, please.
So I should do log out and then log in again. Is it?
ओपन करते मी.
Maybe just try.
ओपन करते. काल पण हा स्टेटस असेल तर व्हायला पाहिजे. काल आपलं झूम होते. चालेल का?
व्हिडिओज वगैरे आहेत.
आणि आपण शेअर केली तर ते ना ते समजणं कठीण आहे.
When they say next, then we will move upward and backward.
एक आता त्यांनी लॉग आउट केलंय ना, एकदा प्रयत्न करून बघूया. नाही झालं कारण की इथून तर सगळ्या कंडिशन्स आहे.
We'll give email
yes,
chat
yes.
box.
Okay.
ड्राईव्ह वरती ठेवायला सांगा, लगेच डाउनलोड
PPT.
Okay.
ड्राईव्ह वरती अपलोड करायला सांगा. छोटे असतील ना
साईज सरांना सांगा, ते त्यांना व्हॉट्सअप करतील. हा चॅट बॉक्स,
इथे जो open आहे
चॅट बॉक्स
chat box.
त्यांना लॉग इन करताना आपल्याला परमिट करावं लागतं का?
नाही. ओपन होते बघूया.
येस करा.
त्यांचा हायलाइट होत नाही म्हणजे ते नसेल ते केलेलं आहे परमिट. स्लाइड शेअर काल आपण झूम प्लॅटफॉर्म वापरला होता, ते शेअर केलं. आहे
हॅलो माईक फॉर अटेंड कॅम्प,
ते आपण
परमिशन्स ग्रँटेड म्हणजे आहे, सगळं आहे. आता त्यांना पुन्हा लॉग इन केल्यानंतर कदाचित आला तर. केलं का त्यांनी लॉग इन? एकदा चेक करा. व्ह्यू लॉबी.
Okay, so I'm back here. So I will try to share the screen. If not, then I will just speak. Say I'll try to make my point.
एका ठिकाणावर हे करू पण त्यांना बाहेर काढू.
लॉग इन करतो.
शहा ठीक आहे.
हा ठीक.
ये आता त्यांना शेअर करायला सांगा.
सर हा माईक
हा ऑनच आहे सर. ते वरती दाबा जरा बटन वरती पुढे तो जरा प्रेस करा नाही जवळ इकडे द्या. हॅलो जरा वरती करा तर
शेअर करायचं की नाही.
हा आता शेअर करायला सांगा.
Sir, now try to share your screen.
Yeah, but share is not getting sort of bolded. It just not. Okay. Is my screen visible now? Can you see my screen? Hello? Hello? Can you see, or it's okay? I think I will just because it's like really a big wasting of the time of the audience.
लाईव्ह झालं काय
शेअर इनवाईट ऑप्शन नको आहे ना हे क्लोज करा शेअर इनवाईट ऑप्शन नको
Doesn't matter. Naik sir, are you there? Suhas Naik ji, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm very much here, sir.
Yeah. So I think I would just speak because I think yeah, it's so friends. See, like this was something when I read the pamphlet of the conference on role of science communication in enhancing public engagement with science and technology, and when I was told that there would be students and young faculty, I really felt excited because I spent about 32, 33 years at an institution named IIT Bombay, and I always connected well with my students. Are you able to hear? Are you able to hear?
एकदा ट्राय करा सांगा
Sir,
Hello?
you may try once again. Hearing some technical issue. Can you just try once again, sir? Is it enabled now?
No, I think it is not allowing. Doesn't matter, sir.
Okay,
Let
sir,
us
fine.
sort of. I think somehow that dry run business we missed it. That's okay. I think so. As I said, like there was Shri Abdul Kalam, the then president of India, had floated a concept called rural urbanization. And when I read in the pamphlet that there is this rural, I mean, the college set up by the sort of this trust in a rural area in Guhagar, near Guhagar, and with the name of the college as Parshuram College of Engineering. I thought it would be a good idea to sort of share with the students that like and narrate them through case studies. I wish the videos were possible, but I'll try to sort of share. I'll make a compact file and share with the organization. So, what I would wanted to do was like, share with the young students, how does one go ahead and sort of, work on a certain research problem? How does one choose a research problem? Often at times, if you're not able to choose a research problem and define the research problem well, it is so very difficult to make any impact in through your engagement in research and development. So in order to do this, we need certain skill sets. As young engineers, we need certain skill sets, and this journey of next 20 minutes, I'll take you through, through the first hand research studies that I did while I was a faculty member at IIT Bombay. So let us ask a question. What do engineers do? How do they engage in sort of solving problems? Because see, if engineers in their lifetime do not engage themselves in solving problems, nobody is going to heed them, nobody is going to listen to them, nobody is going to sort of give any attention to them. So what are the different lifetime tasks for a good engineer? So I would just say 7 or 8 verbs or words or phrases which I'm sure the students particularly and the young faculty would like to sort of connect with. So the first task that a good engineer does is observe. So observe the phenomena or the study topic, the process of making a particular product. So first task is observe. Next is measure or estimate. So engineers always have a fascination to numbers, quantification. So how do you parameterize such a problem that you are studying? How much and how could you measure? How do you assign a quantity to that? And I'll just tell you, narrate you subsequently, how does one observe, measure, design? Then comes the design. So what are the pain points in, for example, if there is something already existing in terms of a product or a process, what are the pain points that one wants to sort of do some kind of a value addition through designing equipment or a new process, and sort of getting a better input to output ratio or output to input ratio, as one would want. Then, of course, after this observe, measure, design, the engineer constructs a model which is called a proof of concept. So whatever you have in mind to sort of solve that problem, whether it could be drudgery, it could be efficiency improvement, or all exceptionally new design that never existed before. So one has to build, in order to sort of create a trust with your community for whom you are doing and with whom you are doing. You have to consider, you have to sort of show a proof of concept. So seeing is believing, as all of us know, a simple thing. But let's say, for example, even your interlocutor, like let's say a farmer, because my case studies are mostly in agro industry, agro value addition, process development. So unless you show to the farmer that, look, this is the concept, this is how it works, then only he'll get interested as your interlocutor. Because as I said, why I'm bringing this is because this conference is on how do you engage the common people. Okay, so after you construct, you have pilot test. Okay, from your laboratory bench top, you go to the field, you do some kind of a pilot demonstrative test, and then subsequently sort of get into making a scaled up model, install it in the area where it is required, and then monitor. So all these things, when we talk about science and communications and consumer in the end, for whom the science is sort of or the outputs from science, particularly from applied science and engineering, I'm talking here about this. Actually, I got help because of my various travels that I used to sort of make in the sort of in my tenure as a faculty. And to cite you an example to the young students here, I was amazed when I went to US, for example, say about 10 years back, and I saw that the consumers there would like to know the water supply utility, to put on their portal what is the quantum of water left in the lake, water supplying lake, or what is the quality of the water being there. So every day data is put on the portals, and there is a consumer which is demanding that. So when the consumer demands that, the public utility system has to sort of provide that kind of a data. How much is the water level? What is the quality of water being provided to them? And you all will be surprised, in most of the US houses, there is no aqua guard, or they don't have to, they can just go to the tap and drink the water. It's the same with even Western European countries, where I happened to stay for 6 years in France. And when you go there, you don't look for a packaged drinking water. You just go to the tap, and you feel that sort of it's so now often at times there is a concept called design thinking. So the young students or young faculty members in the audience can actually see a good literature in the sort of even Google scholars articles on design thinking. Stanford, for example, or even IDC of IIT Bombay, when they teach the courses in design, they sort of teach the students on what is design thinking. So in this, what I wanted to bring was, there are certain skill sets that as young engineers or young scientists one must have. So there are some external skill sets and some internal skill sets. So external skill set is something which tries to see the opportunity and threats in trying to develop a product or process, whereas internal skill is something your strength and weakness. So this is built on a what I said, that there are two types of skill sets. One is what you call as analytical skill sets, which sort of allows you to do some quantitative numbering or giving some kind of a sort of a feel of a number. When we talk about the engineering problem solving, there is this analytical skills of trying to study the phenomena, trying to study the process, and trying to give the numbers to it. Okay. And second type of category of skill sets is hands-on. So when I say hands-on, what do I mean? You have to have a confidence in handling engineering equipment, tools, physical design, and practice. So often at times one sees that, I could see that students coming from different engineering college to do the postgraduate program in IIT, they were sort of, electrical engineering graduate was not able to sort of, go to the fuse and change the fuse, or was wanting to sort of, or a mechanical engineer who would not know how to run a lathe machine. So this is another kind of a skill set that one needs to build if you want to communicate, if you want to do value add, first to yourself, because if you want to be employable, or the industry or the institution want to employ you, they would like to see these kind of skill sets in you. Are you able to observe well? Are you able to say, for example, quantitatively something about that process or that product? And therefore, then we said that there is this. I wish I could show you this model of stem, leaf, and root. So if you see a plant, the plant has a stem, the plant has a leaf, and that has a root. So what this skill set plant that I'm talking about here, STEM, I meant was science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So STEM is science, technology, engineering, mathematics. LEAF for me is languages, environment, arts, and finance. So LEAF is language, environment, arts, and finance. And I will try and sort of share, if required, the set of slides, because I could not show my slides to you, because I showed a plant and I showed stem, leaf, and root. So to me, what is root in this plant model of analytical skills? Root is family, friends, social support system. So this is a plant, a sort of of skill sets that you have, and in a sort of problematics, or phrasing your problem of solving, sort of using science, is like you say, when you do problem solving, you need to sort of know what is the felt need, what is identification of a problem, analysis of causes, and analysis of possible solutions. So once you have given the problem statement, so I'm going to tell you in these 2-3 case studies that we undertook, how we sort of defined a problem. So as I say, one of the problem that we worked on was constructing a poly house, as some of you might have heard, as a solution for nutrition. So when you sort of thought of building the poly house, we thought of a construction material which is bamboo, which is more nature friendly, and at the same time it reduces the cost. Because when engineers develop a solution, the first thing the consumer end user asks is at what cost you are bringing the solution. So when you propose this 1200 square feet, or let's say sawa gunta, those who understand Marathi, sawa gunta, or it's about 125 square meter of poly house, we said that instead of steel, let us use bamboo. Now, what is the advantage in using bamboo? It's not only environment friendly, but it also costs one third. The structure that we made was costed us one third of what was available off the shelf in the market. Now, this solution actually we developed for the those who know Palghar district. There are places like Jawahar and Mokhada, which has a large tribal communities, and the essential farm holding is pretty small. And these two blocks are the hotspots of malnutrition. So when we say that let us solve the malnutrition problem, it is not something that you want to solve through a factory made food product. I mean, there is a solution. If you go on WHO website or UNICEF website, you see that they would make, for to address this malnutrition, something which is rich in proteins, something which is rich in calories and things like that. However, we thought that these people in Jawahar and Mokhada in Palghar district are used to sort of having the concept of kitchen garden, which certain NGOs like Bayer, for example, are trying to sort of spread the concept of kitchen garden. We, myself, and along with my MTech student, what we said that, look, here is a problem of malnutrition. Here is another problem, that in this Palghar area during monsoon, it rains heavily. So people are unable to sort of cultivate green vegetables. In the months of summer, for example, what happens is there is water shortage. So this is a really dichotomy. In monsoon, you have too much of rain. In summer, there is no water available for cultivation. So can we take a concept which is known to people called polyhouse, and can we build it using some kind of a? Then we went on and searched what would make the sort of life of such a structure longer. So then we went on and saw that there can be some way to sort of have the bamboos treated, and which can sort of enhance its life from 5 years to 15 years. So this is what an engineer does, tries to sort of identify a problem. In this particular case, it was to sort of see how we can sort of provide these fresh vegetables through a small poly house of 1200 square feet. And not only it looks after the nutrition of the family of 4 or 5 people, but also can this polyhouse produce something which is a marketable surplus. And then we sort of this particular student went to Palghar area, where there is a centralized kitchen facility of Annamrita. There is an NGO called Annamrita. Some of you would have heard about Akshay Patra. So this is a sister organization of Akshay Patra, which is called Annamrita. So they give hot cooked meal to the students in the Palghar areas, which are, as I said, are quite tribal. And if you sort of, there was some study where there was a good correlation that the students attend the school better if you give them hot cooked meal during their lunchtime. So because if you suggest a solution, you have to sort of see that your produce or your product as an engineer must have a market. So then it was found that this particular Annamrita kitchen can take the product, or in this particular case, the fresh vegetables from 200 such polyhouses. And we demonstrated that. So unfortunately, I'll not be able to show you this video of how we went ahead and sort of built this and did some kind of a economic and engineering analysis. Some of you might have sort of remember about the Tyokte Vadar, or the storm that passed through these areas. And we are very happy to sort of mention it here, that when we designed this polyhouse for a wind speed of 40 kilometers per hour, we had Tyokte, which gave you 120 kilometers per hour of wind, and these polyhouses could stand it. So another example that I would give here is sort of post pandemic. We saw that there was some kind of a reverse migration. During pandemic, a lot of people from city areas went to the rural areas. And therefore, I think this connects to the theme which I talked to you about Abdul Kalam ji presented, rural urbanization. Or of late, the chairman of our RGSTC organization, Dr. Anil Kakotkar, talks about a concept of silage, which means, can you connect the city and villages? Can we take the knowledge or the skill sets available with these people who worked in the city areas, and can you provide, for example, from that knowledge base some kind of a solution, so there is no this kind of a migration again back from rural to urban areas. And this is one of the India is struggling to sort of answer, not only in Maharashtra, but many other states. You have the cities which are flooding with people, but in rural areas, because in rural areas there are no jobs. So this must have been the trust that which runs this college of providing this college facilities or education facilities in this principal engineering domains. One of the thought must have been silage, concept of silage or concept of rural urbanization. So one example I gave you was building polyhouses. Another example I give you is like 5 minutes. Can I take 5 minutes more? Hello, hello.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Can I
Yes, sir.
take
Yes, sir.
5 more minutes?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So another two case studies through videos. What I wanted to talk to you was, again, in this Palghar district, lot of these tribal farmers are growing mogra. So mogra is jasmine flower, And what they do is, like, from this Jawahar Mukhada areas, they either take it to Nasik, the flowers for market, or they bring it to the other market, because in the local markets they fetch a price of maximum 60 to 80 rupees per kilo. Whereas if I was present in person, I would have asked this question to student: can you gauge what price the Mogra flowers can go up to? So I cannot now interact with you on in that fashion. But let me tell you, in the other market during season, Mogra price can go something like 1,200 to 1,400 rupees per kilo. Now look at the kind of value addition, or the market price valorization from 60 rupees to 1,200 rupees, so 20 times more. So how do these farmers have small cold storage systems, uh, um, which can sort of, how can you use your engineering knowledge, for example? So there is something which is called as Peltier effect. So you, in physics, so you can use, you can have. So what we simply did was, we did not sort of, design something, coming, falling from a sky. We just took a ice cream Godrej unit, which is a decentralized, they call chest cooler, so you have a, so you can sort of, put 100 kilos of jasmine flowers, and that is in, the observation. When I said the first thing that the engineer should do is observe. So when we wanted to see that, the supply chain of Mogra, when it comes from Jawahar to Dadar, what it goes through, so 150 kilometers from, and to tell you, this 1,200 is possible only if the Mogra flowers arrive in Dadar market at 6 o'clock in the morning. Now you can imagine the fate of that small farmer who has to travel 140 kilometers and reach here. So the family of these farmers have to get up really 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock early in the morning, pluck the flowers, give it to somebody at 5 o'clock, and then, by 6:37 at least the flowers reach. So what we said, that they can do this with this cooler, the Mogra cooler. They can do this earlier evening, keep it in the cold storage at between 2 to 5 degrees Celsius, and sort of, easily the trader, it can be given aram, say, at around 6 o'clock. So the family does not. So what you have essentially done here is not only allowed the farmers to sell it in the markets which pay him better price, which are at distance, but also you have in the process removed the drudgery of the farmers on the farming family, to having to get up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I have sort of, surveyed along with my student, second student, who worked on MTech problem of developing this Mogra cold storage unit, that 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, you can imagine, in the battery of the mobile, they have this mobile in one hand, and the other hand, the lady or the child in the house plucks the flowers. So a small device, you can think of like a miner. You have a miner's lamp which is put on your sort of, head, and you have both hands free, and you sort of pluck it. So a small value additions like this makes a difference. So this particular device that we designed and tested in this Palghar district was Mogra cold storage systems, and a sort of possible drudgery reduction as well as economic benefits. The third example, in very briefly, I'll tell you about, in Vidarbha areas of Maharashtra, is a lot of cotton which is grown. Okay, so once you pluck the cotton bolls, what happens is, you have the cotton stalks or the straw of the cotton plant. Now, often at times, the farmer has no time to uproot, because it's again a drudgery, the remaining part of the cotton plant. So they just simply burn it. So you have heard in, like, in Delhi, for example, October, November, December, there is a big pollution in the air, because the nearby farmers in Haryana and Punjab burn their residues of wheat straw and things like that. So something similar happens in Nagpur area. Since it's for farmers, it is not possible to collect, uproot this ones, they just burn it. So what we said, that here is an alternate, here is a technology development. See, there is some value addition is done through by making fuel briquettes from this cotton stalk, because it becomes really hard like a wood. So what we did was, there is a shortage of animal feed what you say roughage, which is, so if any one of you knows what the, so it's like human nutrition, the animal nutrition people told us that something like 50 to 60% of these the pellets which are made for animal feed are the roughages, and there is a shortage. So when we studied that problem, so this was again a third MTech student who worked on this. The beauty, what I'm trying to sort of spread this message across is the young faculty in your area can engage students, because students are always thirsty for problems. And if you can sort of work on a problem which is relevant to the rural areas. So here what we did was we took that hard cotton stalk and you dipped it in ozonated water, you made it soft, and the animals released on it. And now it's a live solution that is being worked out at a organization called BIF near Pune. Some of you may know that there is a Urli Kanchan. There's a place called Urli Kanchan where they have this 200 acres of farm. So we have put up one plant there, and another plant is in Vidarbha area, because the cotton is grown primarily in Vidarbha area. So we have studied in the smaller ruminants like goats, and goats. The problem was like you have to sort of study the weight gain. So and whereas in Urli Kanchan on cows, when we tried this animal feed using cotton stock, the outcome variable was the milk yield. So what I'm trying to say here again through these case studies is often at times you have to go to and derive from multiple disciplines. So problems, the live problems are not, अरे ये मेरे syllabus में नहीं था. Often at times the students, when they come and when they come and they learn this approach during their masters, is like many a times problem solving is multidisciplinary. You have to go. So when we did this problem of making animal feed pellet from cotton stock, we had to collaborate with a animal science university, trying to understand what is it that what is the complete feed for them. It's not only roughages, but you have to add some kind of concentrated feed like de-oiled cakes and things like that. So all this problem solving, which is waiting for engineering intervention or the applied scientist intervention, one has to draw from multidisciplinary skills. And if you sort of create such the building your skills, and as I think somebody, the first speaker in this conference, talked about learning never stops. You have to keep. So your undergraduate degree, or whatever postgraduate degree that you are doing, it just prepares you with these kinds of skill sets, that given a problem, if you want to solve a problem, how do you sort of go ahead using your skills to sort of even if you have not studied in your syllabus, in your textbook, how do I now? And your generation is so lucky. At our generation, we didn't have Google uncle or Google auntie, who could sort of throw this literature review. We had to go to the library, for example, that point in time, and do the literature search and things like that. So with this, I think I will stop the organizers. Sorry, I may have taken a little time, and I really feel sorry that the students did not get to see my videos of these problems on animal feed using cotton stock or Mogra cold storage, or the first one that I talked about was the bamboo poly houses that we built in Jawahar and Mokhada. Thank you. If there are any questions, I can sort of face those questions.
Any questions or? Thank you, sir. I think there are no questions from the audience. I think you had a wonderful session with regards to research problems and how people should focus on observation, measurements, identifying the pain points, reading the proof of concept, then serving it to the audience, the users. You also shared very beautifully the concept of design thinking, and also how problems need to be analyzed, how problems need to be, the cause of the problem need to be identified, cost benefit analysis. And you gave three wonderful examples in terms of polyhouse, the chest for Mogra, the chest coolers for Mogra jasmine, and the cotton feed for animals. I think a very wonderful session from you, sir. Shah sir, we look forward for some more sessions for our institution in Thane, and we'll surely invite you there. Thank you so much. And now we move forward with our next speaker, who is
Professor Shah. Professor Shah talked well, emotionally, fully
Yeah.
involved. Great.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish maybe sometime I'll be able to visit the college and show my work through videos, because this is really the communication of, infotainment, as you call it, So these videos, each of 6 minutes, really end-to-end problem solution. How do you observe it and how do you come to a solution?